Hi guys, welcome to VCT Game Changers Southeast Asian Series, FSL, the league that's all about growing the competitive women's gaming scene and seeing how women in esports change the game. It's us, your host, Julie, your casters on the desk for right now, Kentrol, Hey I'm Quack, as well as Jace Yeager. Of course, once again, this FSL Elite is brought to you by our sponsor Intel, supported by official media partner Yahoo, also official chair partner Secret Lab, and this time joining us, we've got some pretty this way panels, our Nanoleaf panels for you guys. Jace, Quack, morning. How are we feeling about Elite Day 1?
I'm super excited. Yeah, I really can't wait to get into these games. The girls, they've been looking fired up. They've been having a lot of scrims going on recently. I mean, we had, our first match, of course, VLT, Asteria, and Nigma. Nigma were playing yesterday, so they're all fired up for today. It's going to be a good day for them, I'm sure. And yeah, just can't wait to get into it. Very excited to be here.
Truly excited. I mean, oh my god, the scrims yesterday. I've sent a couple of questions to most of the teams, and Asteria just seemed really confident. So I'm not sure how Nigma feels about today, but I think the first matchup is going to be interesting to say the least.
All right, guys, before we get into the first matchup of the day, we're going to take a look at the journey and the format that the teams have made to get to this point. To see on your screens, those are the 8 qualified teams that we have through to FSL Elite. We've, of course, been playing all the way since March of this year through the circuit. And, of course, most of the teams, if you guys have been following the circuit at all, need no introduction. We've got Alter Ego Celeste, Nigma Galaxy, Renatus White, Mad Army, Arcat Arresta, TC Arise, Big Scythe, as well as VLT Asteria. Of course, we had 3 different ways of qualification for this year. It was top of the leaderboard for all 6 of the FSL Opens that we had. We had 3 teams qualify through that way, and then we also had FSL Overtime as well as FSL Wildcard, where we had another 3 and 2 teams qualify. So I'm pretty hyped. I think especially for the top 3 teams that made it through this circuit. They haven't really quite played in FSL in a while. They didn't really play last month because they just purely didn't have to. And we're going to take a look at the prize pool on your screens. Just an absolutely eye-watering amount of money for most of these competitions. Elite, we've got a total of a $25,000 US prize pool. I mean, we've come a long way from when, you won some sketchy LAN tournament, you brought home a mouse pad. This time around, we've got some pretty sweet cash. First place, of course, bags that $10,000 US. Also, we've got a couple of pretty cool sponsor prizes as well. We've got the Nanoleaf panels, controllers, PSUs for the first and second place winning teams.
That is pretty big stuff. I mean, no longer mouse pads. Yeah, we're serious about this time. $25,000 prize pool plus Nanoleaf. Guys, we just got real.
Guys, it wasn't that bad. Just a mouse pad. Sometimes you got a free t-shirt.
Yeah, well, a free t-shirt, compared to 10,000. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty equal, right, Jace?
You need clothes, nice stylish t-shirt. I wouldn't mind an FSL t-shirt. It doesn't sound so bad, does it?
I would actually like that. Yeah, let's get that going. FSL t-shirts, guys. Or VCT t-shirts. Ooh.
For next year. Next year. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at the format as well as the brackets as well for FSL Elite. Of course, this time around, FSL Elite, we're playing it over 2 weekends, today and tomorrow, as well as next Saturday and next Sunday. And we're gonna take a look at the brackets over on your screens. We're starting off with the first matchup this morning, VLT Asteria going off against Nigma Galaxy. I'm pretty excited for this one. Later on, we've got Mad Army versus Big Scythe. Also, the way the rest of the brackets have shaken up. Alter Ego Celeste facing off against TC Arise, as well as Renatus White versus Arcat Arresta. And I think the most interesting thing for me about this bracket was that we didn't actually seed the bracket at all, but it turned out pretty interesting. What do you guys think?
I think interesting is kind of an understatement. This is I mean, it's not rigged, by the way, but this is incredibly lucky stuff for, I mean, most of the teams. Maybe not so much for the ones in the bottom seed, like Alter Ego Celeste. That's a really big team, so I have no idea how the teams in the bottom seed is going to deal with that. But at the top side, I mean, our very first matchup is already an incredibly spicy one, and I think we'll go a little bit more in depth into that later on.
Yeah, I agree. It looks pretty fun at the top there. Asteria and Nigma, you've got Mad Army and Big Scythe. I think there's a couple of fun games going into it. So, you know, you're going to have that top bracket going through. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. At the bottom, as you said, yeah, a little bit more worrying for them.
That's a group of death.
You know, it could be worse. I mean, it's a group of death for anyone that isn't called Celeste. But, you know, I believe in every other underdog here.
That's been pretty much the name of the tournament. I think the name of FSL this year has been pretty much trouble for any team not named Celeste historically so far. So our first matchup, of course, Asteria versus Nigma Galaxy. We're going to take a look at the rosters over on our screens right now. Why don't you guys walk us through both of these teams? Take one each.
How are we going to do this, Jace? You want Asteria? Do I take Nigma?
Fine, go ahead. I mean, it makes sense nationality-wise, right? I am from South Asia. This is the South Asian team.
Are.
VLT Asteria. No, that was a joke. I'm not actually. That was just a joke. Don't worry about that. We've got Casper, we've got Meow, we've got Britzy, we've got Shrey, and we've got Muffin. Luke Muffin, of course, a huge addition to the roster, an amazing player. One of the better ones we've seen. They've had a great win streak on Ascent, on Icebox, and Split. And they've been boasting some of the new agents, some of the old agents, and they've had, I think they've had a really good showing since they've entered the fray here.
Just an absolutely incredible showing because, I mean, they might have qualified through wildcard, but that is not to, you know, disparage them at all. The fact that they have actually made their way through wildcard fairly easily up until the point they actually had to face against Mad Army. They were basically destroying everyone in their brackets until, you know, they had hit a little bump on the road sometimes. But Muffin Loop has definitely been popping off. Of course, moving on towards Nigma Galaxy, your Filipino representatives. Maybe this one you should have taken, Jace. But yeah, you got girls like Alka, Hannah, Trix, Ivory, Aya, as well as their newest addition, Chloe. These girls, you know, they started off as kind of this I don't know, rag and tag group. They were a little bit shy to speak to each other at the start, I think, but they were so strong that they consistently placed second in most of the FSL Opens. The one team that they haven't made past is none other than Alter Ego Celeste. So this time, I don't know, maybe they have a better chance. We haven't seen them in the longest time, since Open 6. That was like, what, 3 months ago?
Yeah, it has been a little while since you've seen them playing on that street. I did see them play yesterday, and you know who was on fire? Aya was on fire, playing an absolutely amazing game. You know, she plays the difference between having a Sage, having a Phoenix, having any kind of duelist. She can do that. And that basically, Ivory, Aya, Trix, and Aluka, those four, they've been on-off teammates for years already. But you know, it's a new game, it's Valorant, and they're building themselves up with this new storyline together. And Hannah, she's made her way over from what they call Dynasty Rise, TC Rise now, sorry. And she's been a really good addition as well. I think she's been feeling really confident with the team. And of course, they do have their sixth player as well, who has been pulling her weight. So yeah, both these teams, I think, there's a lot of potential. I'm leaning more towards Nigma Galaxy. They've been more consistent across the entire series, right? We've been seeing them get those second places so often. And I think just in terms of international phrasing, they have been getting those positions time and time again. They've won tournaments together in the past. They've got that confidence. They're coming off wins yesterday. You know, there's a lot of things going for them that would make them feel confident, I'd say. That's not bias, okay? That's not bias.
Yeah, and we were talking a lot about Nigma Galaxy, a lot of good stuff about them. I also want to kind of focus a bit on Asteria as well. I mean, the last time we saw them, they didn't have a sponsor. A couple of recent changes for them, you know, they just got picked up by VLT. Also, I think recently a couple of the members were boot camping in Chennai as well to just kind of, you know, level up before FSL Elite. They also picked up a new coach, Akali, about a month ago. And I wanted to just ask you guys, how do you think this is going to affect unexpected performance at all. Because, I mean, the last time we saw Asteria, they were already a pretty good team. So what do we think about today?
Well, the fact that they're boot camping in a place with better ping, like, you know, we did have a talk about it before where they basically said we don't care about the ping, and I just thought, kudos to you. That's an amazing.
Hats off,
that's
man.
an amazing.
That's one of
personality
us.
trait. Yeah, that's incredible, and you know they just go for it, right? They don't really care about the ping. They just want to go have fun and do their absolute best. Now you got players in a position where they can have way more impact. It's not the entire team, as I understand it. We do have 2 players that cannot travel to that point. But you know, still having 3 more, that is still 3 better than you had in the previous showing, and they were already doing well, as you said. So in terms of ping, in terms of their positioning and how they may improve in this tournament, I think that is going to be a big boon to them.
All right, well, we've heard from Jace. Now we're going to hear from the teams themselves. We had the chance to film a pretty sweet Q&A with Asteria. Guys, let's take a listen.
Hi, I'm Muffin Luke and I play for the team VLT Asteria and I play the role of a duelist / initiator.
My name is Saloni and I go by the name Meow16k. I'm currently playing for team VLT Asteria from South Asia. I'm a duelist and an initiator in my team.
I have been playing FPS games past 7 to 8 years. I used to play a lot of CSGO, but I never competed professionally in that game. But as soon as I heard about Valorant, like my first goal was to buy a PC of my own and start competing professionally. So this is the first game that I have been competing professionally.
I played CSGO professionally for 2 years. I have competed in tournaments like Legion of Valkyries, WESG, and most of the female leagues. Since Valorant released, I started exploring my way in Valorant, and now that we are into Team Asteria, we are looking forward to compete along with the best Asian team. I joined right before Wildcard started, and I remember having this discussion about how to qualify in Elite. I also remember discussing with the entire team that there is no chance of qualifying to Elite in this year. We'll go up ahead and we'll practice to qualify in Elite for 2022, and that's when we started to actually win in playoffs in 2022. But turned out we won in Wildcards.
I have been playing this circuit from its beginning and I've gone through a lot of agent changes during these last 7 months. I really like the agent composition of our team right now as it has worked super well for us. Me on the duelist, Meow on the initiate and others.
Including myself, most of our teammates are part-time content creators as well. So we have a pretty tight schedule while gaming itself. So we stream for a couple of hours before we practice, but we make sure that we make up to practice on time. And after the practice, we go back to our normal schedule. So it's like we try hard to give enough time to team as it is important for us to qualify and win it as well. Along with that, we also have a lot of ping issues since one of our teammates play from Australia, one from Pakistan, and 3 of us are from India. So I think it is a bit difficult for us to compete against 5 ping, but I think if it was that difficult, we wouldn't be qualified for Elite. So I think we are looking forward to give a good and tough fight against 12 pingers.
For me personally, it is really difficult to manage my time to give enough time for practice for the team. I've worked full time as a software engineer, but my team has been really supportive of my schedule, and all of them have adjusted all of the times for me. And we practice whenever I am free. So yeah, that's what has helped me stay in the team and helped us qualify for the. And also, all of us mostly play on 80 plus ping, especially Shreya. She plays from Australia and she plays on 100 plus ping, but she has been doing her job really well. It is a disadvantage for us, but we don't let it get in our heads.
We are looking forward to go strong against Alter Ego Celeste since they've been winning all the qualifiers. They've been, getting all the titles up their sleeve. So I think this is high time someone needs to take them down. Even though our team and the composition is really new for each other. I mean, we just made this team before Wildcards, but we will make sure that we give a tough fight to all the teams in Elite.
So I personally am looking forward to compete against Nigma Galaxy because we as a team have played against them a few times and we have given a very tough fight, but we haven't won against them any of the time. So yeah, I feel like me and my team are prepared to defeat them this time in Elite.
I think Muffin Loop from my own team She's gonna be the star of Elite this time, I believe. And now that she's got the role of duelist, I think she's already doing the damage. And I think now that we're gonna compete against the top female Asian teams, she's gonna show her what she has got. So I think she's gonna be in the top list.
So my teammate Britzy, like she has been playing all these FSL games on a 60 hertz monitor and a really bad PC. So she's like now getting a really good PC, and I'm really excited to see her performance in the FSL Elite. And I really want to see like how well she can perform if she has a good gear. So I think like she's gonna really wreck everyone this time, and she's gonna really be making a difference in every game, in every match we play.
Upcoming girls who want to compete in a professional Valorant circuit, only one thing to advise to all those girls is that if you want to go professional all in, you should go in. Shouldn't be afraid of what people will say. And if apparently it's a taboo that girls cannot play as good as other gamers, men. So I think it's completely wrong, and girls can compete on an equal level. So more participation should come in so that the entire female community grows so much that the ratio of male gamers and female gamers become equal. So I think that's how we need to initiate our participation.
There should be more women willing to participate in these kinds of tournaments, forming teams and representing their regions, countries. And they shouldn't be scared about, following their passion, because like you'll have to risk it all if you want to get the reward in.
I would like to thank everyone who supported us. Of course, my teammates, our coach, our manager, everyone who were backing us up in the back end. Along with those, all the people in Asteria's team, I would like to thank all the streamers who were streaming our games on YouTube and Twitch. I think the support in the exposure that we got and the support eventually helped us motivate and create the positive hype among each other. So much that I think that is one reason why we performed so good in wildcards. So I think we are hoping to get the same support in Elite as well, so that we perform and pop off everyone, each one of us.
So I'd like to thank my team for not letting me go back to the controller role, even after me insisting like for going back to the controller role, because I felt like I was not able to create that much space for my team. But today where I am is because of my teammates, my coach, and my manager, and all the people working in the back end for us, cheering for us. I'd also like to thank all the viewers, all the people supporting women tournaments, all the people supporting our team, Velocity Gaming Asteria. So yeah, thanks.
I loved hearing from the Asteria girls. They definitely got a lot of passionate fans. We see them all the time in chat, and I love like just some of the tidbits that they shared with us, like that, like, they're getting new PCs to practice on better ping, that sort of thing. I can't wait to watch them just unleash their full potential. What did you guys think?
I have to agree. I mean, sorry, like it's it's kind of like they have been training with weights. If you watch anime, it's like Dragon Ball Goku, and then he just or Rock Lee. They take off the weights and boom, and suddenly they're this new beast. They're gonna come into the tournament and completely wreck everyone. What do you think, Jace?
I think, yeah, they might circumvent every expectation. We've got like a certain image of how VLT Asteria is going to do, and they jump into this. Suddenly they're an absolutely different beast, and suddenly they're hitting shots that you just don't expect to hit. They're on ping, they're on better PCs, they've had all these upgrades all over the place, and they improve in their own time as well, right? They said in the interviews, they've been practicing via scrimmages a lot, so we may be seeing even more coming out from them. And I do love the little tidbit as well about getting that equality going on. You love to hear that, especially from our female scene. We love to see a lot more of that.
Yep, we love to see it. Guys, I also wanted to pick your brain before we go into map draft. I believe we have a pretty exciting player matchup that the two of you want to talk about. Tell us more.
Yeah, that's right. Aya and Muffin Loop, two of the most talented players we have in the entire tournament, actually. Aya now boasting 222.3 ACS. That's an average combat score. So Muffin Loop's 234. She's actually ahead in that aspect. And Muffin Loop, she said in the interview as well, right? She's been super busy. She's a full-time worker, and she's been popping off like this in her free time. Can you imagine that? And so with this head-to-head, you can see here, these two are the players that you want to look for, that you want to keep your eyes on, because between the two of them, the amount of MVPs they've got between them, right? You're looking at two incredibly talented players. Muffin has 35 MVPs, and I think they're all on Astra. And then you're looking at Aya. She's got 28, and 17 of those are on stage. Because as I said before, she's the flex player. But even when she's playing as a sentinel, doesn't matter if she's a sentinel or she's a duelist, she can get those kills going as well. But Muffin Loop's purely on a controller, doing all this damage and doing all this work. I think this is going to be a close fight between the two. And I mean, the stats are so barely separated. So I'm very excited for this matchup.
That's right. I mean, these two girls, they are the MVPs of their team. The stats are fairly close, but that's the thing. Like you mentioned, Jace, they are stats that you get on, an agent that's not a duelist. You would expect a duelist to be top fragging and really playing out of their minds, but these girls are doing it on agents like Astra, on Sage, and it's just incredibly strong. But you got to count in the fact that Muffin Loop, although she has gotten most of her MVPs as Astra, recently she's made a change to this duelist role now. Now, I think, if I'm not wrong, she's playing Jet a lot more, maybe Sky or something else to a certain extent, but on Wildcard, which is how Asteria qualified into FSL Elite, they really showed up, and Muffin Loop came up with big multi-kill plays, and I just don't think other teams are going to know what hit them. I mean, they have shown that, with all these changes coming in, Shreya as their IGL, Meow 16K as the new pickup, they have a lot of potential that we haven't seen yet.
I'm excited to see how far that potential takes them. I mean, between these two teams, I don't really want to lean anymore especially after what you say. It's like, I'm not going to lean towards either one of these teams because they both seem to be prepared. One actually seems like they've had a little less action than the other. So yeah, it's like, I'm not really sure, but I think it is going to be a great matchup between these two teams.
Yep, really cool matchup, and I love the focus that we had on Aya versus Muffin Loop. I also just wanted to quickly ask you guys.
Meanwhile, on the side of Nigma Galaxy, next to Aya, you've got Aluka, and Aluka is an incredible player, and she can play the duels as well. She's a flex player as well, and then you've also got Trix. Trix is a fragging IGL. So you got two players that know how to stand up sometimes, and also they do need to stand up when Aya isn't performing. That is something that does happen on occasion. Sometimes you get tournaments where Aya just doesn't show up, and she has to rely on Aluka and Trix to do the rest of the work because either she's just not feeling it that day, or maybe the agent pick she went for just isn't really vibing for her correctly. So yeah, she's got teammates she can rely on to put those numbers up. For Muffin Loop, I'm not sure if she can really rely too much on her teammates. She really does have to perform, but if she's going to rely on anyone, it would be Shrey, I think.
I think I'm gonna
Kensho, what do you think?
I think I'm going to agree. I mean, we have seen Asteria perform this way, and mostly it is Muffin Loop, the MVPs. Shreya, of course, is an IGL. She does do her job, and you got Casper and Britzy there to support them as well. That's how they really perform as a team. You don't often just see them relying on Muffin Loop all that much, although the stats kind of reflect that a little bit. Aside from that, though, I mean, you got this new addition who I think we've only seen her in Wildcard, Meow 16K. She plays the Initiator, Sky sometimes, but sometimes she's also playing duels like Raze, and she can be that a little bit of a wild card. The way she plays can be rather aggressive, maybe not fragging out all the time, but just because you have that one player who's willing to throw herself at the opponents, they might not know what hit them, and it's just, you get this distraction. The rest of the team can frag out because of that, and that's how they play, I think. I mean, I have tried to get these girls to kind of, maybe rile up some feathers, start a little bit of spice, but they are just that good. Like, I've asked them questions like, okay, you guys are so confident. You play with, slight ping disadvantage, I suppose. How come you're so confident? And they're just like, oh, our bond and passion coming in from each player is the true sense of motivation for us as a team. Like, teamwork. This is prime teamwork right here.
Yeah, I think we've already gotten the map picks for the first series. It looks like it's going to be Ascent, Icebox, as well as Split. Wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about the draft? Do we think that one team has made it out better than the other?
Well, actually, I mean, not really. There is technically one team that has gotten a little bit better in these matches, but it's just based on stats, right? Because both these teams are doing really well on Ascent and Icebox. They both have like what 13-8, 6 out of 7, 9 out of 13. It's like those are the pretty similar stats coming in for Ascent and Icebox. Split favors VLT Asteria just a little bit more because they've won 3 out of 4 of their games, but they've only played it 4 times, so you can't really pull a result from that. If you're looking at Nigma, when they've played on Split, they've won 4 out of their 8 games, and that's like about 50% chance. But, you know, they've played it a lot more than VLT Asteria did. So I feel like these 3 maps are the quintessential map picks for both of these teams.
I have to agree. Quintessential is the word to describe this. I mean, Ascent is really a map that Nigma Galaxy are really comfortable on. In fact, most teams are comfortable on this, but just based off of past statistics, Nigma Galaxy have proven to be the better team on Ascent. Icebox, though, I think Asteria actually stands a chance on this one because they've shown and they've practiced that this is a map that they can really, really frag out on, especially if you watch the way that they play it on this on Wildcard. They love to go in with that little bit of a lurk sense, and once they find an opening pick, they go in for it. They come in with a split push as well, and they'll really go for this. It's a term coined by Zayar, one of our casters, the Asteria sandwich. You got one squad moving in from the back, meanwhile 3 or at least 4 of the main forces push up from the front. And when you least expect it, someone's going to come in and backstab you. It's really going to hurt, but I mean, these 3 maps, Split, could go either way. I'm not too sure.
Asteria sandwich. Well, let's see if Nigma's going to be too hard to chew through that sandwich, or if they're just going to be that easy meat that's super delicious and easy to get through. I might be a little bit hungry, my apologies.
Me too, brother, me too.
It's a weekend morning. It's a weekend morning. We're all feeling that way. I've ordered my McDonald's delivery and I'm just like waiting for it to get here. I'm gonna tuck in and watch the games later on. I can't wait. But real quick, before we hop into game, guys, I gotta get your predictions for the first best of 3. What do you think the score is gonna be and who's gonna win? Whew.
I feel like I think I'm gonna go 2-1 for Nigma Galaxy. I think they'll take the first. I don't think they're gonna take the second, but I think they will take the third. That's what I'm leaning towards right now.
You know that I hate to say it, but it makes sense. It makes logical sense. But while my mind says Nigma Galaxy, my heart says Asteria. I mean, these girls, they've got the buff. They got the new Velocity Gaming pickup. They've got new PCs. They're playing out of an office, a boot camp in Chennai. They might be on better ping. They stand a chance. So I'm going to say 2-1 Asteria to Nigma Galaxy.
Whew. Well, I mean, it looks like the desk is divided, but we're about ready to hop into our first best of 3 of the VCT Game Changers Southeast Asian Series FSL day number 1. Guys, I hope all of you watching back at home are excited for this one. It's gonna be hype. Buckle right in, and we're gonna start the game very shortly. See you in a bit.
Hello, welcome back. We've had a player client not loading properly, so just give us a little minute before we jump into the game. We've already given you our predictions, but someone who famously dodged the question. Okay, Ray, it's your turn. It looks like the desk is divided. There's 3 of us. It can't be divided.
Tiebreaker, go!
I cannot believe that you dodged that. I'm so upset. Just threw us on the chopping block there.
Look, if we didn't have that player restart their client, like, we would have tossed to the game and that would have been fine. No one would have noticed. You called me out on it. I kind of want to agree with Quack right here. I really do feel that, you know, like with the whole getting a new coach, with Akali, stuff like that, players improving their PCs as well. I mean, personally, I know what it's like to improve your PC through Intel as well. I mean, thank you so much to Intel for just like kindly sponsoring my PC a couple months ago. I switched PC and I went into range. I kid you not. I hit more headshots than I have ever hit in my life. And I'm pretty sure Kendra can attest to this because we've queued together and he always has a lot. He always had a lot to say whenever we queued together. I like to think that I'm better at Valorant right now. Thank you to Intel. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Nigma Galaxy this time around too.
It's no joke. The new PC buff. It's a real thing. I mean, Valorant, yeah, you know, skins are just they look nice. By the way, the what do you call it? Day of the Dead skin. I don't know what the actual bundle is called, but it looks really cool. But yeah, skins aside, Valorant is a pay-to-win game. I'm kidding. It's free to play. It's free to play. But if you have a good PC, if you have an Intel processor or something along those lines, you get really high frame rates, and that's really the thing that makes your game run smooth. And with smooth frame rates, a nice monitor, you're going to be hitting headshots. I mean, Rayrachu, she's experienced it firsthand, and I've kind of seen that growth a little bit. At the start, she would just go... I'm going to throw her into the hot water.
Hey,
right now. She would play Raze. She had this snowflake-looking crosshair. I've been saying this for the longest time. Plays nothing but the Judge. And then now, new PC, she's actually trying out new weapons. She's trying out the Vandal. She's hitting headshots. It's good. It's good.
She just slinked away there. Actually, you're absolutely correct. It is called the Day of the Dead package, and the bundle. It is, of course, in honor of Dia de los Muertos, which is Day of the Dead. And yeah, the new skins actually look bloody gorgeous. You got a vintage Mexican fighting knife in there as well. Which cool. They do put a lot of emphasis on different cultures as well when it comes to the skins, which I really do appreciate. And I really do like that. They call the butterfly knife the balisong. The peanut word. Yeah, yes, I absolutely love that. Thank you very much. So yeah, Ray, are you okay? I feel like you've been commended there. Actually, it's a rare compliment to get from Ken.
I mean, just stop. I'm already dead. We don't need to bring this up anymore. We're supposed to be analyzing the two teams, not analyzing my growth as a not professional player in this game. But that's kind of one of the things that I love about Valorant. You know, I think for a lot of players, Valorant is their first FPS. I know that was pretty much the case for me as well. And I just love how, you know, Riot has been able to bring over just this entire new player base. Like maybe previously, for me, for example, I just came over from League of Legends. When Valorant came out, we just like love the art style. I think a lot of female gamers really enjoy the art as well. But we're into Agent Select for both of these teams. Really quickly, it looks like not yet locked in, but about to be pretty soon. What do we think? I see a lot of similar pickups from both these sides with the KJ.
They're not playing with Hannah. They're playing with Chloe today, so that's good to see. I mean, that is the quintessential sixth man as well. So yeah, it makes sense. But they've already locked in for the side of VLT Asteria. You got the Killjoy, you got the Jet, you got that Sova, the Asteria, and the Sky. I think that is actually the meta pick for now. I'd say that makes sense to me. Ken.
Yeah, fairly similar lineups. The one difference that you see is the fact that Asteria has two initiators.
Select your agent.
Nigma Galaxy, they're going for that double duelist setup. So it's kind of more standard stuff that we're seeing from Nigma Galaxy. They've been known to do this, but what's interesting to me is that I think we used to see tricks on the Jet sometimes. This time it's going to be Aya, who was the person that we did kind of feature. She has been top ranked and she has those MVPs. Now that she's on Reyna, this could be Nigma Galaxy's game.
All right, guys. Well, joining Jace to bring you all the action for the next couple of maps is going to be Zero Aura, Lady and Gentlemen. All ears on you.
Hello, welcome. I can hear you. Yes, I can. Loud and clear, Zaya. Uh-oh. Odd. But technical issues are not, I think. I mean, it's awesome to have you here with me casting this game, but we've had our panel predictions. What are your predictions, Zaya?
Bomb buddy out.
Yeah, it's already started.
Blinded.
Alright, so it seems like we already have a lot of aggressive pushes coming from the We are on the attacking side. In towards the B side they go, and they're pushing past markers, which is a little bit more difficult because they haven't dealt with nothing who's been holding from the defender spawn side.
Enemy
so
remaining.
All that's left right now is Trix. She's up by B main. But unfortunately, even then, she might have information with a recon bolt. No, she's on the B main. She's on site itself. She needs to get the headshots and isolate the duels. Otherwise, she's not going to live this. 6 HP is all she's got. And only the Ghost. Not that much utility to work with as well. It has all been spent. And Britzy, they know where she is, so they're looking
30
to
seconds
hunt her
left.
down. She doesn't really... She has the spike, but she cannot get it planted. So moving past the Radiant crates, maybe up towards Sailor, looking for the headshot, but Britzy already has her number dialed in. Easy spray with the frenzy. Not even a spray, actually. It's a headshot. So
Alright, can you hear me?
First round goes to Velocity Asteria.
Alright, can you hear me, guys? Am I alive now? There you go, I am alive, so okay. That was a bit of a practice back there, guys, but do not worry, I have Ryzen. And of course, to start it off, we do see Asteria right here taking that first round. But to answer your question, because I did hear you, it's just that you didn't hear me. But of course, I would like to have this a 2-1 Nigma gap. But then again, I can be proven wrong. Why? Because I think you guys missed one of the vital members as well for the side of Asteria. And who is that? I may answer. It's going to be basically Casper. Casper has been winning a lot of games during wildcards, and speaking of that, it's starting it off pretty well with Muffin Loop here with that Marshall kill. So that's basically an interesting thing, because you guys mentioned time and time again, Muffin Loop needs to do effort. And look at this, a little bit of miss here and there, to and fro, but that's going to be a very beautiful frag coming in from Yao 16K as she gets Aya down. Not really, neglecting the sides here on towards heaven, still pointing it out in towards our map. And to go back into your point, Casper here has also have been popping up for Asteria, but then again, this is basically the lackluster that Asteria has. They kind of rely on Muffin Loop here, so that could be the kryptonite that, NGX can basically take advantage of. So right now, speaking of NGX, you are seeing them here in towards middle side, trying to get a rotate or maybe go potentially towards Cubby. But what do you think about this?
I don't like it because it's a crossfire setup. They have to deal with Shreya, and they have done it, but Meow 16K immediately plays off of her. Only good for one, though. Ivory makes it a quick trade. Her head is gone. So it's a 2v3 situation now, and all they need to deal with is Muffin Loop. She's dead. They have the side. We're down into the 2v2. So, spike planted, post-plant position set up. They actually stand a chance at taking this round.
They do, especially that, again, the spike has been planted, you mentioned, and they are in a very good position for the crossfire, but let's see up to what extent, because the gun difference still in the favor of Trix here with only the Ghost. Casper can have that trade here, but who is going to get that kill with a better weaponry? Casper still gets it, and that's going to be the round for VLT.
Oh man, I think they were a little bit nervous towards the end of the round. Trix only had one round in the chamber, and she went in with a big swing. It's easy for Casper to just spray and pray in that situation. So unfortunately, even though they have managed to take the site, it's a little bit tough for them. But the main thing that you got to consider here is the fact that they've done so much damage. That's 4 players that they took out. So economical damage is done, plus the spike planted. They're going to be good for this bonus round. Nigma Galaxy, this should be theirs.
Right here.
Should be theirs, but right
Let us
now,
hunt.
again, I would like to go back just a quick in towards the map selection, right? So interestingly, in terms of stats, we do see Asteria having the higher percentage, but look at this though, NGX gonna say no, and Alka takes it from the start. Really beautiful, but still was detected by the recon vault here. So basically, in terms of map selection, we do see that VLT has the upper hand, but right now with Nigma Galaxy here, really popping off as Ivor gets one. Tricks also for the team here in towards market. Really nice usage of utilities and in a very timely manner. So this is going very well, at least for the security of the site. So this is a 4-2 for the side here of NGX. They just need to secure it because retake capabilities of Asteria can still be very deadly, despite them being, being on Trey and Britzy. So what do you think about this composition here? At least, and Aya go with a very quick here. Actually, that was actually pretty good reflexes coming in from Aya, and they know that Britzy is in market.
Look at this. They're keeping her pinned down. Britzy's just trying to dance back and forth between the walls, maybe find a headshot or two. But she has no freedom of movement. They are trying to wallbang her even. She actually managed to take down Alka, so that's pretty good. But here we go, the classic headshot, and Britzy is gone. So Nigma Galaxy, this was their round at half. The Asian composition on Asteria's side is pretty nice, but given their current weaponry in that previous round, I just didn't see it happening. Now that they saved up, though, and we got Muffin Loop on the operator, this could be a very different round.
This is quite interesting because, yeah, you mentioned the good thing is the third round, Nigma Galaxy just basically popped off because of the said weaponry. But right now, Muffin Loop with Operator and Thing. Oh, interesting how Meow is with the Bulldog here. So I like it how they kind of place themselves in a manner where they're dispersed in towards the map and not really neglecting any capable flank for the side of Enigma Galaxy. So here, really being on a passive state for the side of Asteria. You mentioned it on the panel. They do have that tendency to make a sandwich here. But let's see if Nigma Galaxy is to eat it or maybe a bit poisoned by it. Because look at this. The amount of patience that they're going through right now. It's a minute. So recently, we've seen time and time again for Nigma Galaxy that they go off and try to commit a site for at least like 50 to 40 seconds at a time. Which this is going to be starting because of that lockdown. And they need to make the best out of this lockdown right here. So that's going to be patience coming through and through. They will be entering towards the side, but Casper still takes the spray, but is detained. But can this be the chance now for Nigma Galaxy?
I don't know. They actually might be able to go in and get the spike planted, but whether or not they can defend it is a whole other thing. I mean, you've got every single player on Asteria already on the site, so they're good in terms of timing. They've already rotated. All they need are the frags, and right now, Shreya is good for a quick double. Chloe on the other side of Jenny, she's good for a double on her own as well, but Shreya just comes in with a flag. It's all up to this 1v1 right now. Trix knows exactly where Shreya is. She doesn't have much HP to work with as well, so the shock dart is gonna do it.
Dart to the heart, Trix says, as we did see time and time again, these amazing clutch coming in from Nigma Galaxy. So we're going to start off with Casper trying to get that pop in. But with the spray transfer coming from Chloe here is one of the things that really turned that tables around. And Trix basically all has to do is just buy time and jiggle peek towards wine. And that dart is basically the creme of the pie.
Really the cream, and I love that. Dart to the heart, and you are to blame, Zaya, but whatever's happening right now, it's not going to work out. Muffin Loop going for that Blade Storm TM bike, but way too aggressive at the B main peak. She's going to get punished for that, so zero value gotten out of that Blade Storm. Right now, Nigma Galaxy stepping on the brakes a little bit, and I really love to see this. They know that they created an opening towards the B side, but there is a chance for that rotation, so they're not just rushing in. In fact, they're trying to rotate past mid and in towards A. You already got the spike players in towards A main as well. No one's there to actually stall or defend the A side, so this is a free plant, a lot of free real estate for Nigma Galaxy.
And this is the thing, they're their assertiveness here is in a slow start, but then if you give them the chance, that is where they make the best out of it. So you said it, this is a free take. Post plant basically in their favor, because if you look at how they're positioned, Sky here, we do see Meow 16k going in towards heaven. This is a quite risky of a play, considering that there are smokes and utilities around as well as Aluka. So right now, that's telegraphed in terms of location, but Meow 16 still gets that sheriff kill against Aluka. And right now, can this be a potential clutch? But look at this, alarm bot will notify them. Ooh, dinked, but not enough, as Aya got the better weaponry here. And right now, we do see they're just basically buying off time, making things out of best here. And this is gonna be another. Do they? Okay. Oh,
What?
but they don't have time. But still, Shrey and the gang were able to win out their fights.
Yo, this is pretty scary. I mean, look at this. With the Sheriffs, they managed to take out 4 players from Nigma Galaxy, not to mention Shreya, who's absolutely popping off with that thing. Triple kill for the IGL of Asteria. So, whatever we were saying on the panel, whatever we were trying to theorize here about, you know, Muffin Lou, she's the big MVP. Yeah. She's really strong, but even if she's taken out of the equation, I think Shreya can step up to the plate. So it's not all doom and gloom yet, because it's only 3-2 for now. Asteria still have a chance at turning this into their first half. Of course, starting on the defensive side, they have an advantage, but a bit of a Ferrari peak. Muffin Loop's going to eat it, and right now, this is a big opening with B main control and vision. They might actually be able to find yet another peak, but instantly, this is the response from Casper, and that's why she's such a good Astra. The stars have already been pre-placed, and now just buying a little bit of extra time, stalling as well. But what they don't know is that, take a look at your mini-map right now, the rotations going in towards A.
This is basically the adaptability that Nigma Galaxy has right now, because they know that Asteria does not neglect, sure, the flanks, but they are making the best out of it by, you know, creating some noise in towards B. And you did mention Casper here with these stars placed in smokes as well. But is it enough to make it align though? Because look at this, another A take here, because the amount of success that Nigma Galaxy is having is in this site. So that's going to be an ult coming in from Ivory, if I'm not mistaken. And right now we do see here already creating the post-plant situations for the side of Nigma Galaxy, really making wonders. And this ult though is basically really helpful for Nigma Galaxy to narrow down the angles that they need to take cover, especially for post-plant. Speaking of angles though, we do see shutdown there from Trey and Casper. Chloe for the trade. Yeah, 16k, not gonna give up as well, but this is just a rampage. Chaotic for both sides of the team. 1v1, who's gonna take that push? No, it's basically gonna be Trix to secure it all with the 4 points in their arsenal.
Damn, it is the second time that we're seeing this face-off between Shreya and Trix right now. But looking at the scoreboard, I think it's proven, right? Trix got that 10-2. She has been popping off and showing up every single round. When it comes down to this 1v1, she wins it dead to rights. And unfortunately, it's a little bit difficult for Shreya to hold the angle as well. And especially with the fact that they're playing on defense, time is of the essence. They actually need to be able to win these retakes. Otherwise, it's going to be Nigma Galaxy again and again. This time around, Asteria often eco as well. They're not contesting A main at all, and that's why there's so much room to work with. Nigma Galaxy sense this, and they're just going in for the burst. Already getting site control. The Astra Nebulas are up. The door is getting shut down as well, so it's a little bit tough for the retakes to happen.
Can have a potential thrifty around here, but Trix still starts it off, taking straight down. Casper for the trade with that sheriff kill, beautifully done. But we are trying a bit of a fight here as Trix goes for the wall bang, taking down Britzy, Aya as well. They know that they have the better weaponry, so basically you can consider this another round for Nigma, unless of course proven by either Muffin Loop or Casper. And again, we've been highlighting them both time and time again. Muffin Loop really amazing with the Marshall and with, you know, as a player in general. But I don't think it's really enough at this point, because numbers are advantageous in towards Nigma Galaxy. So right now, best case scenario, since they were able to save here, class, right, I think if ever Nigma Galaxy is to win out this next round that we're having, there's the pause. And you know what? You know, maybe they they kind of read my mind and said, yeah, go for the pause, because you want to end this momentum that Galaxy is having, because if you give them that certain amount of aggression, it's just really going to pop off through, and you don't want to place yourself in a position wherein when the second half comes, it's going to be more tedious to work with later on.
Exactly. You don't want to let Nigma Galaxy have their way. You don't want to give them that steamroller baby cadence where they're going to just start steamrolling all over you. You need to put a stop to this. And this is actually something that Asteria are known to do. They mentioned in their wildcard interview, the winner's interview, that they have a great coach. And their coach often tells them, you got to call for timeouts. Sometimes if you're on a losing streak or maybe even a winning streak, a timeout will do wonders for you, because you take that pause, you kind of catch a breather, think about the situation, reassess, recalibrate your strategies, and re-energize yourselves before you go back into the fray. And the last time they did this, they actually put a timeout and then they won 11 rounds in a row. This was against Vitality Estelle in Wildcard, their qualifying match into FSL Elite. So can this happen again? After a timeout, are we going to see a big winning streak from Velocity? I don't know, but it could be. We're seeing Muffin Loop on the operator again.
This is interesting because look at that turret's gonna be, but there's gonna be the trade for Shrey here, using the turret as basically bait. But right now, is there the trade to happen here? Because maybe the pause would work well for VLT. And let's see how things are gonna go there. They went in towards market. I'm pretty sure that they might try and corner out the angles right here. Tried a bit of security, but that's gonna be a showstopper. Not gonna spot out anyone, to say the least, in towards the side, but not enough, as Strix will take down Shrey, because that's basically a double peek coming in from Galaxy. So looking at how they're rotating, we do see Meow 16 onto the backside. That's gonna be Hunter's Fury coming in from
Counter!
Oh no! Britzy was able to jump in time where the Hunter's Fury is directed at her. Trix will be taking that kill instead. 3 versus 4 numbers advantage in towards NGX right now. So let's see. A lot of information, very vital for the side of Galaxy here, as we see.
Well, it's going to be a tough retake that we're seeing right now. 3v3, but Muffaloop's doing some magic. She dashes in, but unfortunately it's only good for one. Casper was the other. And coming into the backside, Trix just coming with a swing. She has been playing this really conservative style. I mean, not really baiting her teammates, don't get me wrong, but she's playing off of their context. She gets the information, and what she knows, this is a duel that I can win. I can have my crosshair pre-aimed. All I gotta do is strafe out and shoot. She's actually able to take the Velocity Asteria players out. So it's really, really tough for Asteria to actually go in for these retakes. They need to do a better job at stalling and defending the site, or at the very least, play the full retakes game. They need the numbers coming into these rounds, and right now they're just not having that. Back against an Eco once more. We got a Scout, we got some Sheriffs, we have a Spectre. Is it going to be enough though, Zaya?
We'll just have to see, because then again, at this point, they have to consider on, as you mentioned, how they position themselves, and just like that, Ivory and Aluka was double peeking a Shrey from the vicinity, and before that smoke even popped, Aluka goes for the kill. It's gonna be another one. Beautiful spray transfer coming in from Chloe, just all the way dwindling down to 1. Then this could be a potential flawless for the side of Nigma Galaxy.
Could happen. All they need is Britzy, and they've already spotted her out. There it is, the secret lab. Flawless for Nigma Galaxy. 7-2 is the score right now. They must have won, I don't know, 5, 7 rounds in a row?
I guess 5 consecutive
6
rounds. But nonetheless, still, we did see really Nigma Galaxy popping off right now. And right now, okay, VLT still has the weapon, at least for this round, but then again, if they do not want to make things if they want things to make it into a lighter shade, at least for the second half, they need to collect or gather up some points as much as possible. And unfortunately, NGX is just shutting them down, at least at the moment. So just if you look at how Nigma Galaxy just plays around the map using these utilities first, that's gonna be a first peek. Oh, look at one beautiful transfer as well with Aya here with that double trade. Loving the crossfire that both of these teams are already doing. But then again, NGX really has the upper hand here. So right now, again, they once more took domination of A side. That was a beautiful angle for Aluka Britzy for that shutdown. Now let's see. It's again 2-4. This is quite interesting. Stars aligned. Let's see if it's going to be placed accordingly. Smoke, but right now, post-plant situations just basically in the side of NGX. That's gonna be a very interesting corner for Aluka here. Shock dart will hit, but no tricks from the behind. Still gets Britzy down. Aluka for the 3K. This is just really the momentous phase for Galaxy.
Damn, I mean, partially, yes, momentum for sure. I mean, take a look at the scoreboard right now. Tricks, 18 kills, 2 deaths only. This girl is on fire. But it's not just fire, honestly. I'm getting, okay, pardon my weebness coming out a little bit, but water-breathing vibes. She's giving me that feeling that she's Gyu Tomioka or something. I might have gotten the last name wrong, but she has that calm, cool sense, and at the same time, just really smart 200 IQ plays because she's the IGL of Nigma Galaxy. She's actually reading the game on such a high level that she's kind of figured out the positioning from the Asteria players. Every round that we're seeing this, look at how they take control over the map. They know where the weak spots are. They know where the Asteria players are positioned. You saw that ping right in front of Pizza, and they're actually looking to take down the Killjoy player that is Shreya on the other side. But here comes the burst. The blast pack, it's not going to be enough for Aluka, but Trix instantly getting the trade. Now they're looking for Britzy, trying to find her underneath Speedway. They're only good for one, though. Chloe makes the trade happen at the same time. So with that, control over the B side has been granted to Nigma Galaxy. Spike goes down. It's a 3v3 retake. Of course, though, some of the players of Nigma Galaxy are a little bit low. At the same time, not the best weaponry on Asteria. What do you think is going to happen here?
You should run.
Depends, because they can still go for the thrifty, and right now we do see a lockdown coming in from Chloe. Is it enough, though? That's going to be one Sheffield forecast for Eye for the trade. Beautiful spray transfer once more. Is it going to be enough, though? Oh, Spazzers into Classic, and that's going to be a 3K for Aya, securing their 9th point. And look at this dominating performance right now. And you did mention from the panel here, like if you were to remove Mountain Loop or Aluka or Trix for the side of Galaxy here, you still have Chloe here who's been popping off. Take note, like this is the magic of having another player or a sub or a 6-man rather in towards your team. The amount of mystery and the variety of strategies is just haywire, and right now Aya is creating a statement.
Such a big statement. I mean, it's always faster to swap to your sidearm rather than reloading, right? That's what she does with the Classic. But regardless of weaponry, it's the fact that they're reading the map, the fact that they're using their utilities so well to actually push onto site. Asteria just don't really quite know what hit them. And here it is, the last round of the first half. If Asteria don't take this, it's going to be 10-2. And after that, very difficult to come back from. So the Leer comes out, Asteria trying to stall as long as possible. Casper with the gravity well, but it's only good for one. Ivory makes an instant trade happen, and the Cosmic Divide makes it that much more difficult for Asteria to actually hold and stall. But the one thing that's good for them, though, is that Shreya has her lockdown. She could deploy it and potentially just take this site back from Nigma Galaxy's hands. There it is. It just got deployed. Spike planted as well, and right now Nigma Galaxy are faced with the conundrum. They either have to push in or to back out of sight completely. Chloe's going in for this, though. Instantly taking the double kill and destroys the lockdown. Trix gets the final kill as well, and there it is. 10-2 at the end of the first half. Oh my god, 20 kills, 3 deaths only? What?
What was that, Trix? Drix, you are just really popping off the charts right here. But you gotta commend Nigma Galaxy here is basically playing around the map, not really, you know, daunted, not really threatened by that so-called lockdown coming in from Shrey, because they know what to do. The moment that that lockdown was placed into Ward's Garden is the moment that they push it. Notice how Chloe, as well as if I'm not mistaken, that was Aluka or Ivory who was with her, just double peek and went in. They know the exact location to where the lockdown is placed, and they did not hesitate to actually go for the kill because they didn't want that. They don't want to be, you know, detained by such. So that was just beautiful masterpiece coming in from Nigma Galaxy. 10-2 onto the scoreline right now, really sitting pretty for Galaxy. But then again, we do see time and time again that if the switch happens, magic can still be there. But again, this is a lot of effort to put in, at least for the side of Asteria, because they need to make every round count at this point.
Yeah, tremendous effort. But, you know, we have seen Asteria do this before. They feel maybe a little bit more comfortable on the attacking side, right? So, yeah, we saw this in Wildcard a little bit. But I don't know, it's a little bit different this time around. They're off against Nigma Galaxy, their nemesis. So the Nebulas are out. They actually block off vision. They close the door. They got the spike down, but they are losing players in the process. Muffin was trying to pull off a bit of a deep lurk, but unfortunately she got denied by Chloe. So 4v5 right now. This is the best possible scenario for Nigma Galaxy to retake off of. The recon vault is good as well. They're getting so much information off of this. A headshot to start things off, and right now Shreya just jumping in. Everyone's streaming into sight, but Elka is all the way at the top of heaven trying to do her best. It's not going to be enough though, as Shreya puts the final nail in the coffin, and Asteria take pistol round. The best solution they can ask for to stop this momentum.
This is going to be the replay coming in from earlier. Did mention that was a beautiful recon dart, but then again, VLT just basically took that into their advantage and just go for the double peaks, no hesitations, no questions asked, and they just went on with the roll, getting that third point. So can this be the start of, you know, something new, or not really new, more like the start of you know, a potential snowball coming in from Asteria? Because you did mention that they were able to make things work, but Aluka just shuts it down in the face with the Sheriff. Muffin Loop goes down. We did mention time and time again, Muffin Loop here is one of the vital keys, but without it, can Shrey and company really do and make the magic work?
I don't know. I mean, you saw that Sheriff shot. It's so magical, I guess. Yeah, Chef's Kiss, Expecto Patronum, poof. One player's dead. Wait, actually, that's the wrong spell, but whatever it is, Asteria still have the weaponry here. All they need is to play the close range duels. It's going to be a little bit tough to do that, though, from the A side, and that's why we have two players rotating back towards B. Of course, though, they need the utility to make this work. So right now, I think what they're trying to do is a little bit of that Asteria magic. Get some players to distract and delay the rotations for as long as possible. You can see that Nigma Galaxy are starting to doubt this possible B push as well. Chloe, though, might just be the anchor on the B side to stop this madness. At the same time, we got that little pepper spray. Elka's down to 5 HP, so she's gonna play it really, really safe. But all this time has been burnt. 30 seconds remaining. Where's the spike? It hasn't gone into B yet.
This is interesting because you did mention Sandwich may come up and that's going to be the potential rotate, but notice into the first half, Nigma Galaxy did the same thing. And look at how, you know, they were not really going in towards B, but still Britzy was able to go for the shutdown here. The clutch plant of the spike has happened. Meow 16K goes and takes down Trix in the process. Shrey as well with better weaponry was able to get it done. Is it gonna be? As Aya goes for that Sheriff kill, but only the remaining member remaining here for the side of Nigma Galaxy, and Sheriff can only go for so far, but I think this could be a secured you know, round to say the least for Asteria, but that's gonna be a run. But no, Aya shuts it down. But is the time in her hands though? I think she's just going to either get this sector done or just go ham, because basically they can have, you know, better weaponry onto the next one. So I think Aya may go and try for another kill. Ooh, spray it, not enough to kill it. But let's see.
Either I die.
That's one make it. Transfer 4K for Aya, even though Asteria's still won that round because due to no time at all, but still denying that, potential bonus weapon. And this is gonna be the replay now, pal.
Big brain plays from Aya. I'm not sure like if she had that in mind, but she's doing the whole thing of, you're not locked. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. I'm going to stay here, hold the exit frags for as long as possible, because what I want is for you to die to the spike so you don't have as much money coming into the next round. And it's working out beautifully because at the same time, we have Meow 16K on nothing but a Bulldog. Not the best utility as well. Britzy doesn't have her Owl Drone. It's a little bit difficult for Asteria right now. Nigma Galaxy, they might have lost a round, but they might just win the war. They've got all the weaponry that they could possibly ask for. All they need is to play out this defense perfectly. But they're getting a little bit inquisitive right now. Casper holding the off angle. Trix checks it. Aya checks it. And there it is. Alka with the instant trade. There's that tag team duo teamwork that comes from Nigma Galaxy. But they're doing just such a good job right now. I don't know how Asteria is going to crack this code, crack this defense.
Definitely, and as you mentioned, in which Meow 16 had the Bulldog immediately get shut down by Trix, who basically had the better weaponry during that fight. And I love it how Nigma Galaxy is basically double peeking with each and every flank that they do, or with each and every site that they want to take. But look at this, Britzy though still takes Ivory in an off angle, really beautifully made. 3 versus 2 on the clock. We do see Chloe spots out one turret's gonna be destroyed. Let's see if the angle works for Chloe. No, as Muffin Loop goes and secures it with the help of his friend here. And Aluka, only the remaining member, can, let's see if Aluka can also secure and deny weapons, to say the least, or maybe 1v3 clutch, because that's a very good start here, taking down one. Let's see. Yeah, let's see if they can actually, if she can actually go for it. That's gonna be paint shells, alarm bot.
What?
But look at that, the face.
Oh my God, no!
No, Muffin Loop shuts it down. The timing is impeccable, but impeccable for Muffin Loop as they get the 5th point here for the side of Asteria.
Oh yeah, impeccable for Muffin Loop. She's a bird. She's gonna hit you with her beak every single time you think you have a slight advantage. You pull out the showstopper, but she just wags her finger no in your face. Nigma Galaxy, Aluka, she's been showing up. She's been getting those frags, but unfortunately this time around it's just not enough. 10-5 is the score for now, and Asteria are showing that on the attacking side, they just might be a little bit more comfortable. Instant guiding light in towards the A side as well to create a little bit of space, and they might just looking to pull off a rush because they know that the Nigma Galaxy players are on an eco.
And right now we do see here really nice, change of pace as they go for his middle side instead, because we've seen time and time again they just play around either A or B, and right now they're just trying to take it slow, at least for the side of Asteria, because again, we did mention this, Quack, that once that pause is done, or once we get that switch of the sides, this is where we get that tendency to see the teams pop off. And right now Asteria is really really doing a good job at it, but can they be consistent though? Look at this, that's going to be the lockdown coming in. They will also have a similar feat, but a lot of utilities do be used right here, checking all the angles. Low health for the side of Asteria members. Let's see.
It's a big side execute, and it's one that works out, but at what cost? Some of the players are low, but that is where Meow 16K will shine. She's using the regrowth to top her teammates off, instantly back to basically full health. They'll be able to sustain about 2 or 3 more bullets from the Vandals or Phantoms, but that's not what Nigma Galaxy has. They've got Sheriffs, they've got Spectres, and it's just not good enough right now. Shreya, she's holding the off angle, she's good for Chloe, but there it is. The Sheriffs are coming in from May, they're coming in from Dora as well, but unfortunately for them, it's still a quite tall order for them to push past. Automatic weapon is always going to do better than the Sheriffs if you don't have the perfect angles, and there it is. Asteria are starting to come back into the game. Do not doubt these girls. They're at 10-6 right now. 4 more is all they need to equalize the board.
You did say from the panel time and time again, Quack, alongside with Jaeger and Ray, that basically both of these teams are gonna have a close fight, and this is one of the best demonstrations for it. Sheriff kills across the board, but then to clean it up for the side of Asteria. So, what do you think can be the best case scenario here for NGX, since they haven't you really won a specific round, to say the least, only really close because they didn't have time to defuse the spike.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough for them, right? But, I mean, I think it's still early just because they haven't had the best weaponry so far. The last round was an eco, but coming into this one right now, it's already a quick execute onto the B side. Velocity Asteria, they're going with that velocity, that speed. Unfortunately for them, though, it has been stopped. And right now, Spike being dropped is the worst thing in the world. All that's left is Britzy, and she doesn't have the health for this. Triple kill by Ivory, and she is the anchor for Nigma Galaxy.
They're already trying to mix things up, trying to get the perfect recipe for this potential match points as they draw close. And right now we're seeing basically NGX here. You know, this is the advantage of having like that consecutive wins in towards the first half, right? You tend to get into a position where you get some space. So if ever you kind of like lose some amount of rounds, you get to adapt to how basically Asteria is going to play this. Since they are the attackers, they need to initiate the fights at this point, and that's basically one of the perks of being the defender side. This one, when you're like in the second half, you basically you can get the tempo in which Asteria is going for here. So so far they haven't really done a super rush of a push in sites, because what they've been doing is they've been playing around the map. They went to A, went to mid, then to B, at least for the remaining rounds that we have. So this is an interesting thing, because they may try and hold some amount of seconds before they try to commit a site, is what I'm seeing here, and towards the minimap. So again, with this kind of discipline for Galaxy to really go for double peaks whenever they get the chance, to get that really counter strafe going for their side. And here we see a little bit of a passive approach for Galaxy. But what do you think can be, the key for Asteria to basically crack the code?
It's a little bit tough for them to do that right now, just because they don't have the best weaponry. Of course, though, Muffin Loop with the Marshall can still be very deadly. But the tough thing that they've got going for them right now is the fact that Nigma Galaxy have gained quite a bit of map control. A main is locked out for Asteria right now, unless they take Alka down, but that's not happening anytime soon, girl. She's going for those taps, she's going for those headshots, and now, sensing that there might be a second player, they're standing their ground. At the same time, this pushes Asteria off towards another site, and unfortunately for Shreya, she's not going to be able to do that much damage, but maybe buying enough time for her teammates to push in towards market, maybe do some kind of a split push in towards B main. But it's difficult because these two agents, Astra plus Killjoy, are the toughest ones for them to deal with. You've got those stars, you've got those nano swarms, and it's buying so much time. Now 16k going aggressive is only good for one. And Ivory right now, what did I say earlier on? She's the anchor. Wall bangs, just tags past everything. It's not enough for Asteria to push along with, and right now it's at match point. I just don't know what Asteria could do from this point out.
Nigma Galaxy, I did mention they have discipline, and that is heavily demonstrated with the shots. Just look at this beautiful replay, right? Look at that spray transfer and the patience. Look at that. 1, 2, tap. There you go. Beautiful tap in towards that. And that is just basically beautiful. Okay, sure, the pause can still be, a saving a grace here for Asteria. But at this point, this is match point. Everything, every round counts here for Asteria. And right now, this is just, really all the more the aggression still, even though that Galaxy is in the defender side, the fact that they know how to play around the angles is one of the things that you have to commend them for. For Asteria, you can't really deny that there were moments where they won 4 rounds consecutively in towards the second half. But here, though, this is where things are going to be interesting, because I think they have time. They have enough money to buy, they have money to buy, and this is the very last line of aggression that Asteria can do, because if Galaxy were to play around the map here, this could be a bit difficult. Maybe Asteria will be the one to be sandwiched here, as we've been seeing from the previous the previous 2 rounds.
Yeah, exactly right. It's that sandwich. We're seeing Nigma Galaxy sensing that they got the better weaponry. They've got quite a bit of a bank going on as well. They're going to start to push out, and that's what we're seeing Alaga do, especially in towards mid. This could be a very, very hairy situation for Asteria right now, but thankfully, I guess they're trying to make a quick execute happen towards A main. They've done it before, and it worked out beautifully. So if they could do it again, this could be the comeback. And there it is, Makugu bursting onto the side with the tailwind. She's looking for some heads to pop, but unfortunately for her, Nigma Galaxy have already read the situation, maybe due to Trix's call. They're just playing retakes at this point. They've taken 2 players out already, and they're making it even more difficult for Asteria to hold the side. It's all up to Casper right now. And where is she? She's all the way by tree. Ivory sees her. It's the burst, the kill, and 12-6 is the end of that score.
Beautifully done by Nigma Galaxy right here. Again, this is basically, you know, an evident thing for Nigma Galaxy. They've been through the course of adaptability time and time again, and you know that saying, as you progress, as you play games is where you evolve. And basically Nigma Galaxy was able to read down Asteria in towards this first match that we have, which is amazingly done. But still, you want to commend as well Asteria. We did see some amount of highlights that they did have, because they won the rounds consecutively, so they were drawing close. But you know what, basically the shutdown from Nigma Galaxy, it's amazingly done, perfectly done, and that's basically the first point now of our series.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, Zaya. Shut down. Like, times you would see Asteria trying to peek out, maybe go for a frag or two. It's the angels that they're kind of looking for at times. But unfortunately for them, you know, you got players like Trix who are already calling out the positions. They've already they're kind of been reading Asteria like a book almost, especially on that first half, right? They won 10 straight rounds in a row. I can't believe what I'm seeing, but I want to check back to look at Trix's KDA real quick, just because she's been absolutely amazing. But, you know, that is what it is. It's only the first map. I still want to believe in Asteria. That's what I said. My heart is with Asteria. I think these girls, with their PC buffs, they could do it. This is only first map. You know, it's Ascent. It's Nigma Galaxy's map pick. We'll let them have it, all right? We're going into Icebox next. That might be a lot different.
Definitely could be a different story, because again, stats wise, we do see in terms of percentage, you know, Asteria has the upper hand up against Nigma Galaxy. But here in towards at least for the previous match that they have, we've seen how you know, Asteria tried to play along the lines of, in terms of trying to isolate the fights, trying to isolate all of those angles. But unfortunately, Nigma Galaxy, with the discipline, you can really say that with all the duration of the rounds, they were never alone. They were double peeking. They were looking at every corner. So if one goes down, the trade is bound to happen. And that's one of the disciplines that Nigma Galaxy really showed us in towards this previous match. But right now, let's try to at least take focus on to the next one, because this is the interesting bit that really had me. So Asteria is going to choose. Asteria chose Icebox, if I'm not mistaken, and they will be starting it off as the attacker's side. So this could be you know, a better feat for them, because one, their defender side, that can be you know, they've managed to win it, to say the least. They were able to pop it up at some point, but right now Icebox is a bigger map. This is a different story that we're talking about. So what do you think about that?
I mean, you know, it's an age-old debate, I guess, kind of. People didn't really like Icebox when it first came out, but now it's a little bit more comfortable. We're seeing it a lot in FSL especially, but it's one of those maps where you might think it is defender-sided, but when you watch Asteria play this, they actually seem a little bit more comfortable on the attack. Like, we were starting to see them mount a bit of a comeback towards the second half. So the same thing might actually happen here. I want to believe in them. We've seen them do this incredibly well before. And actually for Enigma Galaxy, although they might have stellar statistics across all maps, their win ratios, their win percentages are only at about, you know, maybe the 60%, 50% rate. Meanwhile, Asteria, on a map like Icebox, they got something like 70, maybe even 80%. So, you know, it could happen. It could happen. But that's what
Definitely.
we've got for now. I think it's time for a quick break, and then we shall come back with round number 2. But for now, I mean, you see our new sponsors, right? We got Nanoleaf up here. We got Secret Lab behind me. This is going to be interesting because while there's a big $25,000 prize pool for the teams, we've got some prizes for the viewers at home as well. I mean, you see it, I think it's in the Twitch chat somewhere. If you want to get this promotion, if you want to buy Nanoleaves for yourself, just exclamation mark Nanoleaf. I'm sure like the fine folks at FSL, the fine folks at Nanoleaf have a nice discount code for you somewhere. At the same time, we have got Secret Lab giveaways. If you want to win a chair, keep your eyes peeled because sometime after the game series, during the breaks, there's going to be a code, there's going to be a form, a QR code for you to scan, and you get to stand a chance at winning a Secret Lab chair. So, yeah, don't go away, guys. We're going to be back after the break, but also keep your eyes out for all these nice little goodies that we are giving away.
Hey guys, we're back with our desk before that game number 2. But I mean, what a game 1. I mean, the scores, just watching that was just absolutely crazy. I mean, VLT, they started off winning the first 2 rounds very solid. And then after that, just Nigma Galaxy with that 10 straight round win. Trix at some point was like 20-3 with her KDA. Just absolutely insane. Guys, what did we think about that game 1?
Well, it sounds like she heard you, and she was okay. It sounds like they've sided with VLT, so let's do our absolute best. There was a lot of IGL versus IGL. You did call that early on. There was a lot of IGL versus IGL, but Trix did come out on top of that quite a lot. I feel like everyone else took a little time to get warmed up. Aluka, Aya, they were taking a bit of time at the very start of the game there, but by the end of that first half, everyone was popping off, right? I think actually still trying to warm up Muffin. I think Muffin, she missed a couple of shots that she would generally miss. There were very rare misses coming in, so I think she might be a little bit more warmed up here, which is ironic considering we're going to Icebox, and maybe she melts a little bit of that ice in the box.
Nice. I love that wordplay. She's probably going to do that, though. I mean, who knows? What if she goes back to Phoenix? Nah, I don't think she's going to play Phoenix or anything like that. But it's really evident because, maybe the first few rounds, it was Asteria, actually. They took 2 rounds at the start of the game. Muffin Loop, she was going crazy with the Marshall. She was hitting headshots that I have no idea how to work that weapon. But she does it so easily. Unfortunately, though, at some point, it's just Nigma Galaxy, and they started to figure out the way that Asteria positioned themselves. I mean, it seems like Trix was making those calls like, hey, if they're pushing out mid, that means A is probably, or B is probably open. Let's just rush in. And they actually managed to go in, take the site down, get the spike planted, and at that point, 10 straight wins in a row at the end of the first half, they're just unstoppable.
I agree. I mean, I see a fundamental problem between these two teams, and that was the fact that VLT were playing very passive. I'm not saying just on the defender side, but on the attacker side as well. They were sitting back, waiting for the lurks, and that doesn't really work against Nigma Galaxy because the way they push when they're on that defending side is it's cautious aggression. I'd like to say they slowly make their way forward and then they hold a position and they slowly push those positions forward and forward to get all the map control without exposing themselves too much. That's not going to work if VLT are just holding for those peaks and trying to catch them because they've got a teammate waiting in the back of the site, trying to do their thing, trying to contribute and back up their teammates basically. And Nigma Galaxy, you could see the way they were taking the sites. They'd push in, and they wouldn't just push into the site. They were being very aggressive on the defense as well. In those post plants, they were taking every single fight that they could because they know what VLT can do if they start going for those retakes. So instead, they're trying to shut it down before it can even happen. And I feel like VLT didn't adapt to that. And that might be the case when we move into Icebox as well. Unless they realize, hey, you know what? Maybe we're playing a little bit too passive here. Like, how many times did we see on that attacker side for Nigma? I might be going a bit of a rant here. Nigma kept going, they stacked 5 players towards B main, A main, or towards mid. There were no lurks whatsoever coming from VLT. They didn't want to push in from A main or from B main, get all that map control back, try and fight their way back in. It just wasn't happening. So I need to see a little bit more of that map control coming in from VLT. Use that ping to your aggression, right? To your advantage. You got a couple of players that are just playing on high ping. If you're peeking first, you're getting that advantage first, you're seeing the enemy first, you can maybe find yourself a couple of early kills, and that's enough to give you the advantage to close out those rounds, because when they do get the advantages, they can close out the rounds, and we've seen them time and time again do that, but they just never gave themselves the opportunity to. I'm done there.
Rent ended, but
Sorry.
it's true though. I mean, that is kind of what we expect to see from them. They can go for that bit of a, I guess, peeker's advantage, so to speak. But I think after they started losing that many rounds in a row, maybe it was that little bit of loss of confidence. But that's the lovely thing that we see from VLT Asteria. At the same time, it's something that we've kind of maybe forgotten to mention. Now in FSL Elite, we're actually allowing for those coach slots to be in the game. So every time there is a timeout, their coach, Akali, is speaking to them. And they actually do show signs of life after those timeouts. I mean, there was a point where they actually won, what was it, like 4 rounds in a row after the second half started. Unfortunately, it only happened for a short while, and then I think they lost too many rounds, so it kind of got snuffed out. But here it is, Icebox. What do you guys think? Is it going to be different? Ray, with you?
Whew. I mean, I think that you guys said it all. I think that especially now that we've already seen that map 1, I kind of want to say that for Nigma Galaxy, they definitely stepped up in a way that maybe we weren't expecting them to all that much. Whereas VLT, we've kind of seen a whole bunch of their weaknesses, as Jace was saying as well, just playing a bit too defensive, even on the aggressive side. The fact that map number 2 is on Icebox, which is even more open, just makes me even more worried for them, because you can't keep that same playstyle that they played in map number 1 and expect to do good on Icebox, because that's just not going to happen. You're probably going to have an even worse day. So I'm just hoping that in between map 1 and map 2, like, you know, they've kind of managed to have a talk with the rest of the team, maybe with their coach and stuff, to just kind of reset mentality. We were hoping that we would see that when they called those timeouts. We didn't really see that, although, you know, there was that part in map 1 where they had the swap over into the other side, and then they took like 4 rounds, so it wasn't as bad as before the swap. But I mean, they're gonna have to really step it up, I think, if they want to take this one home on Icebox. Plus, they picked Icebox, so I hope that they'll do better on this one.
I want to believe.
Well, I mean,
I want to believe.
Historically, like, they have done pretty well, both these teams on Icebox, so you can see Nigma still putting up quite a fight. I just hope we get that basic change from Asteria, just to fight back, because I'd love to see a split between these two teams.
For sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us back home, we want to see this best of 3 series go all the way to 3 maps. But guys, buckle in, because we're in for a ride. Map 2 is about to start, and again, it's going to be Kentrell as well as Zaya. Guys, take it away.
She said buckle in. I can't find, there's no seat.
She said buckle in, but you know what? I'm in for the roller coaster ride, because
Ooh.
I do agree with you guys in towards the panel. I would love to see, a game number 3 for both of these teams, because basically number 1, you guys mentioned it, Asteria basically chose this map. They have a higher percentage of win rate in terms of this map, specifically having it at 86%. You know, they played it 7 times and won it 6 times. And for the side of Nigma Galaxy, they have really not far behind, as they've played this 13 times, in which they won it 9 times. So basically, in terms of numbers, yeah, sure, you may have it at the other side of Asteria, but in game number 1, you have to take note, Nigma Galaxy proved us wrong, and they were able to go off the bat. But let's see though if this can be their potential, match point, or will Asteria has to say about it, because you guys mentioned into the panel that there are expectations to be met here for the side of Asteria. They played this time and time again, but with the number of games, as I mentioned earlier, Nigma Galaxy has it too. So I'm pretty sure I also would love to see a very close fight between both sides of the teams. What do you think, Quack?
Of course we want to see that map number 3, but for now I'm going to reserve my judgment. I mean, who knows what's going to happen. Still though, we want to believe in Asteria, the South Asian representatives. They're going in for this. They're starting out on the attacking side. So 5 players in towards Garage right now. This could be very scary, because Alika's holding onto a Sheriff and instantly from her back, a Ghost is firing off behind Aluka, and she's actually able to take one player down. So down into this 4v5, they're trying to push into this right now, and they still got to deal with the long-range angles. Oh my god, they're being held so tightly. You also have Aya just playing off of Aluka's contact. They're looking for even more. There it is! 2 players gone, and now Shreya trying to do whatever she can. Only player alive, though. Only has a classic. Swaps to a Ghost. Might have a better chance, but she still wants to retrieve the spike, and unfortunately, I think it's a little bit far off. There's a cargo box standing in between her ways. She's actually able to get the headshots down into the 1v2. This is not impossible.
Not impossible indeed. 3K for the side of Stray. Let's see if it is going to be at bay, but look at the beautiful positions coming in from Ivory and Trix here. They're basically ready for the Stray take because they again 2 versus 1. I mean, you can just go for the crossfire, but that is information. They've managed to detect Stray here in towards yellow, uses the toxins to narrow the angles. Let's see if there's gonna be a peek right here. Beautiful work for the side of Trix, and that's gonna be the first game for NGX. Love to highlight though both Aya and Aya and, if I'm not mistaken, it's Aluka here. They played around that yellow box in towards B side. They were able to narrow it down just so the other members from A in towards for Galaxy, they were able to rotate in time. So that alone is just really good patience for Galaxy. For Asteria though, Quack, since this is still the start, right? I mean, it's too early to conclude. So do you think that, you know, any like playing around the map or just going for a slow push could work for Asteria here? Or maybe they just go ham and just go and try for another aggressive take?
I'm going to say slow push doesn't work. Do not slow push. Asteria, don't do that, because every time that they try to do that, they give NGX time to rotate over.
If they are heard. All right. But right now we're just going to go into our game. I think this is a quick pause for both sides of the team. Really a technical pause here.
Technical pause for now, and it just seems like there might be some issues that they need to sort out. Maybe it's packet loss, and that's the one thing that really hurts Asteria in the long run. But here they go, again in with this garage push. They definitely hear the Owl Drone, though, so a lot of targets for them to hit, and that's why they are backing off. The Spectres will not work at this range as well. So right now, it's just Trix holding that same off angle. Meanwhile, you got 2 players. It's Aluka and Aya again down mid, and now they're trying to go in for that sandwich, although it's a sandwich that we know for Asteria. This time it's just not working out. Trix gets the quick double. Spike planted, but it's not enough. They pick up the Spectres, though, so I still want to believe Meow16K can pull off some magic here. Buff Loop is actually good for 1, and there she gets traded. Meow16K plays off of that. We're into the 1v1, Jet v Jet. What's going to happen? Aya has 2 Cloud Bursts still to work with, though, and now she's going to tap the Spike really quickly. Unfortunately, Meow16K can't really see her back. Finally spots it, gets her down to 19, but Aya with the 180 flick, headshot. Nigma Galaxy 2-0, perfect start.
Spray and pray, beautifully done. That's gonna be a good double pick coming in from Aya and Ivory as well. But Trix though with the beautiful double from an off-angle position really is the cream of the pie. Muffin takes a double here, but that alone, Meow16K took that beautiful angle isolation. But the spray and the pray for Aya worked really wonders here in towards the B side, and that's gonna be the 2nd point now for Galaxy. And that was just, you know, beautifully done, because the way that they were able to have this rally effect that was going on there, it was really well timed for the side of Galaxy. So right now, I'm thinking of something of a bit more aggressive, but look at this, Aya and Meow16K, both of their duelists had their own respective trades. 4v4 on the clock, still trying to equalize things here in terms of momentum, but Chloe still takes out with the frenzy, Quack, with the frenzy.
My god, and just like that, I think she might have, oh no, it's a little bit too far off. She can't really pick up that weapon. At the same time, you got Casper just watching that thing like a hawk. So down into this position, I mean, Asteria wants to get the site. They need to get the spike down. They've only got a minute left, so 3 players just rushing into it, they might do the trick. Of course, though, they got to worry about Ivory, who has a Sheriff. That's the thing that we got to consider. The fact that NGX has lost a lot of players in the previous round, so they don't have the best highs this time. Still, though, their positioning is pristine. Look at this sandwich that we've got going on here. A top bun coming in from heaven, a bottom bun coming in from the back of belt at the same time, and that's Aya. She has her Blade Storm up and ready if she needs it as well. She gets it, but pulls it out a little bit prematurely. Tries to sidestep, but Muffin Loop just shuts her down. I am the better duelist this time. Velocity Asteria at a 1 and 2.
Timing also as well, like you mentioned, the moment that the Blade Storm was out and about, we already see her peeking as well into that line of sight. So basically you just have to take more, right, and basically prevent any clutch from happening. So this is a 1-2. Asteria already trying to really get up on their feet, trying to go and with the groove here, trying to create a certain amount of note that they can play. But let's see up to what extent to that, because again, NGX, they're very known for the certain type of adaptability, so any pattern can change. They can learn from this. But right now, Asteria, it's still too early to say that they're like on the losing grounds. It's still 1-2, and here right now they're trying to play for peaks. Notice how they're trying to isolate the fights by creating noise using these utilities on board. See, uses the Leer, uses the wall, uses the smoke. They're trying to deny every vision away from here. So Muffin Loop takes one. Alka for the trade. Both of the Reynas really take it in 2 bits here. So that's gonna be the plant. Go for the post plant situation here, which kind of like works in their favor unless stated otherwise.
Unless stated otherwise. I think it's good because Shreya still has 2 more snake bites. She can just pop those off into the air, let them rain down, and buy as much time as possible. But she's got to do it right now. Chloe's gotten it to halfway already, and right now Aya pushing past yellow. She's looking for every single remaining player. And right now, Shreya trying to dance back and forth between green. Unfortunately, a little bit all too telegraphed. I already knows where she is, but Snake Bite's good. It already takes Alika down, but because they've gotten it halfway, Nigma Galaxy, they get the defuse 3-1.
Beautifully done. This is gonna be the replay right here. Notice how they're basically double peeking each and every day for Alika and Aya. Basically, Aya from behind. Oh wait, Aluka rather, from behind, helping out Aya, who's basically is serving as the tank here. When I say tank, is basically in the front line. And it works pretty well because the pre-aim, you see it. You know that Aya here already has an idea to where the members of Asteria are. And that is a lot of skill sets to take. And Aluka as well in the backline, securing and making sure Aya is safe, is that builds trust. And they're just making it all out. And to start it off, Tricks with a 2K, beautifully done there. What was that? Aya as well with her own accord creates beautiful music. And here, look at the spike. It didn't even have the time to reach inside the site.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And right now, Ivory caught in a duel against Casper. She's looking for the headshot though, but it's just not enough. Ivory pushed in towards the toxic screen, in towards the cubby. And I guess she just didn't quite expect that. It's all up to Shreya once more. 1v5. This could be the flawless, but it just got denied. A Vandal retrieved. Oh yes, I am gonna jinx it as much as possible because I want to see that map number 3. But even with the jinx, Aya is just great right now. I love the thing that you were saying earlier on about this frontline tank, the way that they're playing together. These girls are so in sync on NGX's side.
You gotta take note. You have to commend Trey as well. That was a beautiful headshot. True. Only to like if she wasn't alone, then that could have been a different scenario. But this is again, we're gonna call for a pause. You want to take a breather. You want to take a space. You mentioned this during the first round, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys understand the concept behind this. So basically, we're already seeing a pattern here, right? So they are going towards B, which is understandable because they maybe they get a better grasp of B side because you have like angles to consider in A here. But ironically enough, that first point that Asteria had, they won it at A site. So basically, in my opinion here, I think they can play around towards mid in A because that's where Casper kind of like found at least that safe haven wherein they could have secured this site from the past round that they won it. So if they are able to play those peaks, angle isolations, and drop dead, try and win those aim duels, maybe they can work it out. But you mentioned as well earlier, Aya has been popping off. She is, that feeling when you kind of like had your berserk buff, and Aya is really popping off right now. This is her, alongside with her teammates, who is currently acting as a support, to say the least, as well with Aluka. The synergy, you can evidently see it. So right now, what do you think is the best case, to say the least, for Asteria here, just so that they can get as much points as possible?
I don't really know. I mean, every time they try to pull off a bit of a default, they push themselves in towards these awkward positions. Like, no way you expect tube to just, or mid to be just clear, and then you walk in and get punished. But thankfully, Britzy holding the angle, it's going to be Aya that gets shut down. So add 1 death to her death counter. She's at 13 kills, 3 deaths right now. That's still incredibly high. Whatever it is, though, Asteria now playing off of this default, if they can get a couple more frags, they might just be able to weaken NGX's defense a little bit further and then maybe burst into sight. They need to kind of burn that utility, because right now there are so many things standing in between them and the site, so it's a little bit tough. But take a look at the minimap, actually. Quite a bit of real estate on the A site. They might actually, if they can take Baby Alka down, instantly go in, put the walls up, get the spike down, and then they stand a better chance at this round.
That's already a signal that they are going to go towards a beautiful wall coming in from Casper, just to take a little bit of a space. Hunter's Fury, though, will it hit? Is it a hit or miss? It's gonna be a hit. Is it gonna be a double? No, I don't think so. But still, that is enough to buy some time to delay the spike plant. So right here, checking the corners. Beautiful peek coming in from Aluka here. The spike is planted. That's gonna be another with an off angle. 2K straight for the trade. Ivory for the cleanup. And that is up at 5th point, if I'm not mistaken, for Galaxy.
My god, even with the Viper's Pit, and that's just the strength of Nigma Galaxy, that is why they actually gave up that site. They had Baby Alka just playing it so safe, and it has to be a call from Trix, because she knew she had that Hunter's Fury. She knew she could send some of her teammates past the maze and in towards the backside of that Viper's Pit, where Asteria will least expect them. So 5-1 right now, and it's the same-ish sort of momentum that we saw from Nigma Galaxy in the previous game. Asteria, I don't know what's going on, but they need to stop this.
Indeed. Basically, though, we've been seeing time and time again. We've seen that Asteria, unfortunately, they're not really hitting their shots, or if they are, it's really not enough to take them down. And I think the next thing that's happening here, for at least for the side of Asteria, is their takes are being predictable at this point, really telegraphed, and the fact that, again, I've been mentioning this, Galaxy knows how to answer. Basically, they know how things are gonna go from here. That's go one spray transfer. That's beautifully done before actually being taken down by Muffin Loop. That's gonna be a potential shot give. No, Alka goes for the shutdown, and you clearly see the spray transfer coming in from Nigma Galaxy. Their aim duels are on point right now. Look, that's gonna be one. Sees Muffin Loop but decides to hide and decides to basically transfer to Casper before being taken down by Muffin Loop. But still, the security there, you see the discipline, right? And that is something that needs practice to do. And if really placed in time, it really goes and shows wonderfully.
Truly. I mean, it's discipline, it's patience, everything that Nigma Galaxy needs right now. They've got it going for them. Ivory on the A side just basically locks it down. The Viper's Pit has been deployed as well. And right now, taking a look at the minimap, there's a lot of players in towards green, looking in towards garage. So the one thing that they're not looking at is mid, and that's where Meow16k pushes past. But unfortunately for them, Chloe with the off angle, she's good for a second. Looking for the third, runs out of ammo, and Muffin Loop takes her down. Might just be able to convert this A site into a possible victory. Still though, the Viper's Pit is so difficult to deal with.
Indeed. Very, very tedious. You know what? I think people might say that I'm biased here, but no, I don't think so. So Asteria is still a fight or a beacon to reckon with. Britzy will be taking down Ivory in the process. So take note, that's already -1 for the ult bot. Aluka from the flanks takes down Britzy from behind. Muffin Loop takes one, Aluka to clean. And basically here, we're starting to see them really dominate. I want to assert the dominance right here. But again, for the side of Asteria, I guess this is what I'm trying to see. But before anything that, why don't you look at the replay here?
There it is. It's just such a clean replay, the way that they retook this. I mean, Britzy was actually not bad. She managed to take down the Viper player. I think that was Ivory. But unfortunately for them, you still got to deal with the monsters that are Aya and Baby Aluka. That's two of the top duelists of NGX right now. And I don't know if it's just this new reformed NGX that we haven't seen yet or what, but this is a completely different setup that I've seen that I haven't seen from NGX, sorry. The way that they're playing right now, Ivory just anchoring down this site. She was even using the poison orb as sort of a one-way earlier on. This time she's playing a different position, and they just don't know where to look for her right now. Playing past the toxic tree, and she puts herself from the left side. Unfortunately, unable to convert the spray. Muffin Loop takes her down, and suddenly it's still much more difficult because Chloe is here. Aya coming in from screens as well. The spike has been dropped. Meow with the Marshall trying to hold on to it for dear life, but Trick says no. Not a flawless, but still a pretty flawless run for NGX right now, because I don't know how many rounds they've won in a row, but they're standing at an 8-1.
I'm starting to see that Asteria here tends to really go for some wide peaks, at least for Shrey on that part earlier. And we did see that, if I'm not mistaken, Ivory was triple peaked from Heaven and 2 from Sight. So basically that is like a loss, to say the least. That's why she was taken away. But then again, the retake potentials of NGX here, you really have to commend. I'm not sure if Asteria is gonna hear me, but if maybe they can try to utilize Kitchen. They haven't tried that just yet, but Aluka is gonna open this round with a bang, taking down a Meow 16K who tried to go for an off-angle fight in towards B. So look at this, with again another transition from A to B. That drone is gonna spot out that intel, to say the least. And right now, look at the position here. Aya again popping up, really going berserk, takes down one. Ivory as well, really having her own shot. Chloe not gonna go down without a fight here. Beautiful double peek for the side of NGX. 1-9. They are being so aggressive here. Take note, they're the defenders, and they're not even hesitating to push the side into which, Asteria should be at. And here, what do you think can Asteria do for them to have that miracle round so that they can really start to pop off?
You know what, you're absolutely right, Saya, because you said it earlier on. The one thing that they haven't quite tried might just be Kitchen. Still, though, I'm a little bit worried about that, because right now, the way that Nigma Galaxy are playing, they're constantly switching their positions all over the place. I mean, right now, Chloe earlier on was watching Kitchen. She had the wall up back towards Spoiler. Right now, they're back in towards A, and then they push in. Aluka just taking all these players down. Britzy trying to run away, maybe hold the off angle, take one rifle away from them, but it's just not gonna happen. We got another secret lab flawless. I think this is the second one of today.
Yes, this is
from Nigma Galaxy.
Indeed. As I say that they tried Kitchen, Aluka is the one who utilized it instead. Just went straight to tubes and got a 2, and the rest of the members just pushed their way and made it into an onslaught. That is just... Come on, guys, why are you like this? But then again, I do not want to, I do not want to disregard Asteria just yet. We've seen it. There were moments that they shine once the match switches or goes into the swap. But this is a different scenario. Simply one, this is a bigger map. Number 2, the scoreline. You have to take note of this, because it's not really that easy to really grind your way into having that close of a gap in scores, especially in a map wherein you have to take note of all of these angles.
Oh my God.
But right now, for the side of Galaxy, they're the ones in defenders, but they're aggressive. So you know that there is no amount of hesitations that are going into their mind. And Asteria here, they haven't really tried that full-on force of a rush push. If they are able to do so, maybe then they can find that that kryptonite or that weak spot. And speaking of that, Aluka just denies Meow 16k off the board as he takes a peek and goes for the kill.
Operator gone, and right now she is instantly pushing in because she has that fire rate. She's just a little bit more confident. She knows she can just get the sprays down. Doesn't even need the headshots, but she's gonna hit them anyway. Almost looking for the ace, but Treya shuts her down. Regardless, though, Ivory puts that final nail in the coffin. 11-1. Is the ending of the first half. I have never seen such a dominating lead from NGX before.
Indeed. Look at this replay right here. That's one fight down. Look at the angle isolation. That's going to be one. Only to be shut down by Shrey and to be basically cleaned up by Ivory. But look at that. The fact that they're already being aggressive here. Again, I need to highlight this because they are defenders.
Yeah.
Usually as defenders, you tend to be a bit more passive. Like passive-aggressive play. Like you're just going to wait for the peaks and go for the shot. And, just go in a safe haven before they can basically go and plant the spike to go for a retakes. But right now, NGX is the one dictating the dance. It takes two to tango, but right now they're the ones into the dance floor.
They're leading, right? They're the ones that are, hey, you follow me. I'm gonna take a step here. You gotta tango with me. But whatever it is right now, NGX, they're just not stopping at all. But I have hope that Meow 16k could put a stop to this. And right now, even as they push past screens, you got Velocity Asteria players just trying to stop the madness. But Trix has already pushed up in towards the site. She's looking at all these headshots. Casper, last player alive, has her heal, tops herself off, and right now needs to isolate these angles, tries to push in aggressively, and thankfully enough, she's able to dodge out the sheriff shot, but Aluka headshots to deny, and a nice little heart shape to say that she loves
Did you see that? Did you see that? There was a heart sticker, and then she kind of like gunned a U. Oh, that's so cute. But Aluka here, I wonder what she had for breakfast because she's having a very, very nice aim duels right now. And Aluka, if you can hear me, I would like some of that breakfast too. But going back into the game, the way that she just peeks at a pixel to see those headshots up and coming, and it's working for her, and it all the way made it up to the match point.
It's difficult for Asteria to try to take these aim duels head on right now. They need something extra. But still, they might have, I don't know, used up their timeouts or something. It's 1-12 right now, match point, and this could be it. Aya looking for all these heads. She's spraying and peppering them down. Ritzy able to stop the madness for the time being, but she's picked up a Vandal. Sheriff to the face! And Casper wants to fight for her team. She's looking for even more, but the spike has already been planted. The post-plant plays are coming in. You got snake bites from the sky. Ivory holding to one more, and she's just burning out the timer. Casper, last player alive, but unfortunately she gets taken out by Trix. 13-1 is the end of this second map and the end of this first series. Unfortunately, Asteria did not make it past Nigma Galaxy, so they get sent into the lower brackets.
But still, this is double elimination, so they still have their one life remaining, and that's, as you mentioned, lower bracket. But congratulations to Nigma Galaxy. This is a huge difference of tempo coming in from them, and I guess along the scoreboard, in terms of predictions, the British friend from the panel got it right as well as I. But you know what? It's basically this is actually a quite surprise to me because usually in terms of these games, Asteria and Galaxy, basically this is the time where they met, right? So it's been quite some time before they actually have met, and the fact that, okay, take note. I guess you can safely say that in terms of the expectations were, I guess, a bit too high to say the least for Asteria, because in terms of stats, in terms of everything that they have been through, they've been having that huge amount of success in Icebox. And I think, in my opinion, basically, it's just more on how Nigma Galaxy just studied them all throughout so that they can really have an answer to each and every fight or initiation that Asteria did from earlier.
Truly. I mean, it really looks studied. Every single time Asteria tries to push in, they are always met with some form of resistance from Nigma Galaxy. It always comes down to this first half where if Asteria are not able to find their momentum, find their stride somehow, they get stopped, and Nigma Galaxy looks to abuse that. You see how they play, and they push past mid, they push past A, they even pushed in towards Garage, or at the very least, push themselves in towards these forward positions, where you even see, I remember a scene where Trix pushed herself in towards that cubby just next to Garage. If anyone like Casper tries to push past that, it's already a very difficult angle for them to deal with, and it's tough. It's really tough for Asteria. But yeah, they are not out of this tournament. This is the first time we're seeing Nigma Galaxy since FSL Open 6. That was 3, maybe 4 months ago. Now that they are this new beast, and we've had a taste of that, maybe Asteria can study this VOD and really figure out a way, figure out how to take them down, because I have a feeling they could meet again in this tournament. So hope is not gone.
Definitely. We are basically at the edge of our seats. But speaking of that, we have this award-winning gaming seat. So it's called Secret Labs, with the vast range of designs. You're sitting comfortably in it, inspired by your favorite game, movie, or TV show. And of course, look at that. Look, you're holding it right now, right? So look at these materials
it's a magnet
that this chair is made. Yeah, with ergonomic enhancements for supreme comfort. Like, you're sitting on it. So I'll ask you, how does it feel to, really sit on a Secret Lab gaming chair?
It's one of those chairs that's kind of, it's built to last. Like, when you sit in this, you're not just comfortable for a short while. You're comfortable for a long time. And that's what you need when you're gaming for hours on end. So, like we mentioned, yes, Secret Lab, but, I think we got one more, right? So, yeah, it's that, what do you call this thing?
Nanoleaf.
Nanoleaf.
Definitely. And of course, guys, to those who are in chat, Secret Lab is having that share giveaway. So guys, why don't you, tune in to that, and different codes will be, placed there some into the lines of the chat. So you really tune into that. But for now, we're going to head on, if I'm not mistaken, to a quick break. So stick around. We will be right back.
Hi guys, welcome back to the desk for the Valorant Champions Tour Game Changers Southeast Asian Series, FSL Day number 1. It's us, your host, Jenny Richard Lee, and your analysts, Jace and Kentrell. Gentlemen, what do we think about that 2-1?
Called it. No, I said 2-1. It was a 2-0, but really just amazing games from Nigma Galaxy. Like, I was leaning towards them at the start. I got a little bit thrown off by the interviews, and then as soon as we saw those first 5 rounds happen, I thought to myself, maybe I was right. Maybe I shouldn't have hedged at all, because, game 1, you had 10 rounds in a row. Game 2, you had, 11 rounds in a row? So, yeah, they're firing on all cylinders. They're looking really, really, looking really confident. And there you can see the stats from Ascent. 13-6 was the scoreline, and 13-1 on the second map. Like, just when you think they can't do any better, they absolutely do. And in the first map, it really did come down to Trix just being on top of things. And you go into that second map, and everyone is starting to perform really well there. And a really nice attempt there from VLT Asteria as well. Like, to be fair, they won both the pistol rounds on Ascent, which is a really good thing. And other than that, like, after that happened, I have to say as well, okay, here's something that changed for Nigma. They adjusted mid-round, and it was like, basically, they saw that, okay, we're seeing a little bit more aggression coming in from Asteria. Let's change up to being more passive and going for the retakes, and then they switch up again. As soon as they see them go back to passive, they go back to being aggressive again. And it's like, those on-the-fly changes are really what gave them the edge.
Truly, and I think that's, I was thinking at least, that was due to maybe Trix's calling. It seems like they have such a good read of the game right now that anytime Asteria tries to throw something at them, they just make the quick swap. They're so adaptive. And you start to see that on Icebox a little bit as well. I mean, Icebox kind of seemed like Asteria just didn't have any breathing room whatsoever. Every time you'll have people pushing out of mid, out of A, out of B even. It's such a constant battle for map control that you just didn't get to see players like Muffin Loop or Shreya or Meow16K really give us the show that we were hoping for. Instead, it was the Alaka and Aya show. I mean, take a look at this. I mean, we had Tricks with a 4.0 KD on Ascent. Excuse me. This time it's going to be 3.2 on Alaka and 3.5 on Aya. It's incredibly strong, and not to mention you got Chloe as well as Ivory. I mean, Tricks, of course, with their pristine reads, but Chloe and Ivory with just such strong anchors, whether it's on B, whether it's on A. Their walls, the way they use their utility. Even in the highlights, you get to see that one little clip of Ivory using her Poison Orb as a little bit of a one-way. She hid behind the thing and peeked out at the perfect time, striking when the iron is hot. The one thing that we, I guess, kind of have to say is that even though Asteria are not winning these games, they're winning out in terms of headshot percentage. I mean, 27.4 against 22.8. Yeah, you know, they're not winning the rounds, they're not winning the games, but they've got the accuracy, so I still believe in them. They might be knocked down into the lower brackets, but there's a chance that they will come back, and who knows, they might be able to face against Nigma Galaxy yet again. And, you know, we're seeing all these things happen in the game, but if you check out the Twitterverse, by the way, follow Sir Jaeger on Twitter. He's tweeting out some spicy stuff about FSL Elite. I don't know, follow Ray Rachu as well. But at the same time, I mean, huge shout-outs because although Asteria are the only South Asian representatives in FSL Elite, we've got other South Asian teams as well. And who knows, maybe they can get a quick discussion going. I don't know, hit up Sway, hit up Mythica. They could give some insight as to how they could take down the Nigma Galaxy players. It's going to happen one of these days. I mean, for now, you know, FSL Open 4, 5, 6, they haven't been able to take down Nigma Galaxy, but who knows? Sometime, it could happen.
So our predictions before this series, I know our desk was kind of split between Nigma Galaxy as well as VLT Asteria. Now that we've seen that first best of 3 and we've seen just how strong Nigma Galaxy showed up just straight out of the gate, does this change our predictions for FSL Elite for this weekend as well as Nyx at all? Because I know, like, coming into today, we were expecting them to be a pretty good team, but I don't think most of us were expecting to be this good. So what do we think?
Yeah, I think because we expect it to be a little more even in terms of the playing field. That it wouldn't be such a huge peak difference between them. So seeing how well they did there, and seeing how they're going to be going up against these other players in their bracket, I think that they stand a much better chance now. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how they were a month or 2 months or 3 months ago. It's about how they are today. And today, they were absolutely superb.
Just, I mean, superb doesn't even begin to, I don't know. I mean, 13-1, Jace, 13-1 on Icebox, Icebox, where they maybe, I mean, well, their map wins percentages are basically green all across the board. They are just that good. But now, I mean, you've got Chloe as their newest addition. I guess kind of maybe replacing Hannah a little bit because she's got IRL responsibility somewhat. But you're just seeing how strong they can be. Every time, their defense, it's just so clean. And even on the attack, they are able to read the map so well. I think we need some external perspective to find out really why they're doing so good.
Yep, and talking about that external perspective, guys, we've got Chloe from Nigma Galaxy here for our post-match winner interview. We can't wait to talk to her and just pick her brain about what she felt about that series coming in. So, Chloe, hi.
Hello.
Hi. So, of course, congratulations on winning today's first best of 3. You guys 2-0'd Southeast Asian team Asteria. My first question is, did you girls expect to 2-0 them today coming in?
Personally, for me, right, I didn't think that we'll get 13-2 to them. Because I'm newly added to the team, so I think it's quite shocking for us too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that you brought up that you're the new addition to the team because like as you mentioned, you're the newest player to be added onto this group. So I wanted to ask you as well just how the rest of your teammates managed to help you adjust and how like you girls managed to build that synergy because you just popped off this morning. You had like a crazy performance as well just before today's series. Like how did the rest of the team try to like build that synergy? Was it during scrims or like were they friendly? Stuff like that. Tell us.
I guess we practice a lot Scream, and they are all very understanding, so they comes in English for me, even though it's quite tough for them. Yeah, and I guess we just keep on practicing, so we know like how we play. So yeah.
Did you find like communication to be a problem at all? Because you mentioned that like they were really nice and they spoke in English during scrims and stuff like that. Initially, did you find that it was a problem? Because also like looking at today's performance, like there's for your squad, there's a lot of like individual popping off. Like it looked as if even if you don't have the best communication, like just 1v1, like your teammates and you can win those duels. So I wanted to ask, like, has communication been a problem? Is it something that you think will get better over the next few weeks?
I think for now our communication is good. Yeah. Like sometimes they speak in their own language. I somehow can understand too. That's that's how much like our comms is very good.
Yep. Teamwork making the dream work. I wanted to ask you, so your next match will be with the winner of Big Side versus Mad Army. That's a series that's going on right after this. Do you have any idea or do you have any preference for which team you think will win between Big Scythe and Mad Army?
For me, I think Mad Army is the strongest now, so Mad Army.
So would you rather Big Scythe beat them and then Mad Army drops to the lower bracket, or you want to just like face off against Mad Army straight?
I think our team want to face off Mad Army since they are strong.
So you mentioned at the start of the interview that your team wasn't expecting to 2-0, and like just looking at the results for today, it was like 13-6 on Ascent and then 13-1 on Icebox. I wanted to ask you about Icebox in particular because Icebox is usually like VLT Asteria's pick, and they were also the ones who picked Icebox for map number 2. What was the confidence like for your team for Icebox? Like, did y'all practice a lot on Icebox before this, or?
We don't really practice a lot like on Icebox, but I guess it's just our synergy is there, Like, yeah, we have really good teamwork, and the traits are there, and we have each other back. So.
Talking about having each other's backs and Trix, I wanted to also ask you about Trix in particular because she is pretty famous in the female esports scene as well for like being an IGL, being just like an absolutely insane female player in the scene. So I just wanted to ask you what it's like being able to play with her and having her shot call.
For me, Trix is very reliable. I can trust her, and her call outs are wait. Okay, all I can say is she's very reliable and we can trust her.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she was like 20-3 at some point during the first map on Ascent. Just absolutely insane. I think her KDA was like 4 by the end of it as well. Last question before we go. What are your team's goals for FSL Elite, and like how far do you girls think that you'll place?
For our team, we want to get the champion, of course, and I think we can do it.
Whew. All right, very strong words. Chloe, thank you so much for the interview. Once again, congratulations to Nigma Galaxy for winning today's first best of 3 series, and of course, good luck for the rest of the tournament. Guys, we're gonna go for a very short break before we come back for our next best of 3 series between Mad Army and Big Scythe. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a bit. Bye. Bye, Chloe.